United States has crossed 1.5 million, I think, am I right? Number of cases has crossed 1.5 million. Deaths have crossed 112,000. Apart from that, the unfortunate and enduring problem of racial discrimination and the reactions to that is also taking a toll on the nation at a time like this. On the basis of color, creed and caste, much suffering has been imposed, much blood has flown, too many lives have been taken, but still the problem endures. Largely, by law, world has become equitable, largely. There are still some nations which are religious republics where by law there is discrimination. But nations have matured in terms of law or in their constitution. But many individual human beings, a substantial number of them unfortunately, refuse to evolve. And they continue the same prejudices, same discrimination and same selective cruelty, either because of color, creed or caste. To fight for equitable laws is completely a different process. But to transform individual human beings is a totally different process. One must understand India's independence movement. Till then you must know, there was an effective apartheid process in this country. And then the civil rights movement in United States, they fought in a different style because they were fighting against unjust laws. Now the laws have been fixed, but the injustice in human minds and hearts are not gone. This cannot be done by fighting on the street. This is a lot more difficult work. This is about raising human consciousness, about transforming human beings into more conscious and sensitive to all life. We must understand this. I'm cruel to the pigs, but I'm nice to the people is not going to work. Because once there is selective cruelty in your heart, one day you will call some human being a pig and do the same things to him. It's not far away. So this is very important that human consciousness has to evolve, human consciousness has to be risen, and there must be sensitivity to all life. Well, I chose the example of pigs because just now videos have been circulating everywhere because the meat market in America is down. In some farm, which is piggery industry, because it cannot be sold, but how long to just keep on feeding them? So they decided to kill a few hundred or 1,000 pigs, it looked like hundreds of pigs. They decided to steam them to death. 140 degrees steam coming out and the pigs are screaming away. It takes a long time for the steam to fill up and for them to die. And then, after the steam is taken out, a few pigs are still not dead, so man is going with a gun and shooting each one of them. those who are not dead yet. When we can do this to one creature, we can do it to another creature, and naturally it'll seep into other human beings that we don't like for whatever reason. Either because of their color or caste or creed, we don't like them and we will do the same things. So the sensitivity has to be towards life itself, not towards this person, that person, a specific problem. Well, in India, this has been going on for last few days. An elephant, a pregnant elephant, was killed with a pineapple loaded with firecrackers or some explosive, potassium nitrate. It's an explosive, it's not really a firecracker. Well, this was not aimed for the elephant. Now it happened to the elephant. The whole country's conscience is hurt, and there's a whole, social media movement happening against it. But we must understand this was aimed towards the wild boar. Because certain communities have extreme aversion to the pigs, they don't want these pigs to enter their properties, their lands, around their homes. So they put these things, and unfortunately, this elephant picked it up and put it in its mouth and it exploded. And the elephant suffered for almost, I think, about 2 weeks before it died. With a bleeding mouth, it starved itself to death. It came and stood in a small pond to cool its mouth in water, and it died there standing. So seeing that everybody is moved, this is our problem, that we are moved by one cruelty, we are not moved by another. So if it happens to me, it is cruelty, if it happens to you, it's not cruelty, it's the same thing. So if it happens to this creature, it is not cruel. If it happens to what I like, then it's a problem. So that is all racism is, that is all religious bigotry is, that is what casteism is. That if it happens to me, it hurts, or if it happens to what belongs to me, hurts. If it happens to them, it doesn't hurt. So this is not going to go away by just changing laws. This is about evolving human beings to a higher level of consciousness, to a more inclusive existence as such, a more sensitive life. Unfortunately, at a time like this, and people are dying, America has the highest number of deaths. At this time, unfortunately, this racism has exploded. Well, it is happening all the time. Nobody who has a darker shade of skin is completely immune to it. Even I'm not immune to it. When I go to America, here and there, things happen. But this particular George Floyd case was too stark and cannot be ignored, just cannot be ignored, because the way it happened. There's another video circulating right now of police shooting a black man's dog. There are too many things like this. This cannot be solved by fighting. This needs a social transformation, an individual evolution.